So Bitcoin has rejected twice off around $48,000. We need to have a look at really what could potentially happen next and going forward in the next few weeks. So we'll have a look at some price history of Bitcoin in the past, see what's gone on in the months of September. And then we'll also just have a look at some entry points and maybe even some targets going forward. As you can see, I've got a bit of a green resistance area up here, so let's see if we can target that. If you're new to this channel, please make sure that you are subscribed. Hit that like button and let's crack on. So this video today is in partnership with BlockFi. If you are looking to earn a passive yield on your Bitcoin, you can earn up to 7.5% APY. Go ahead and check that out. You'll find a link for that in the pinned comment and the description of this video. So Bitcoin, we are currently trading at $46,140. We have been up to this region here of resistance at 48,138, and we've pretty much tapped that twice and rejected. If you're looking at this in terms of Fibonacci retracements, then the 382 level is a bang on $44,000, which could be a decent area to buy. But I've also got this area traded marked up here. This is a weekly support level, and that's at around $43,000. So for me, I think there's a good possibility that we do come down and test this region soon before we then do push to the upside. But there's always that possibility that if we do break out, currently 46k is that support region, which we have. If you look at this, we've not closed below it really on the daily. If we just maintain this support, the next target to look at is around 51k. I'm more in favour of a retracement, to be honest. I mean, what are we now, the 17th of August? And I'm expecting that throughout September, we may get a little bit of bearish news and potentially just a little bit of FUD to bring the price down. I just want to show you back in September of last year, see what went on. Let's have a bit of a zoom in. Usually September is quite a bearish month. As you can see, look, September. So this is September 2020. August, we did really well. Look at this. August was flying. We did really well after a shitty July. And then we popped up. And then we did get a nasty week down. Look at that, 2nd of September, then 3rd of September. And we did get two massive candles to the downside before we then had a nice steady push on. And then we went on to this next bull cycle. If we go back to September of previous year, of 2019, let's just go back. September around there, look, September around that was 22nd actually. We actually dropped off then as well. So September of the last 2 years, we have had quite a decent price drop. That went all the way up until around the end of August before we did pick up. I mean, you can see 1st of September there, we actually had a spike, but then after that spike, we gradually come down and sold off. And then let's just go back to 18, see what happened then. September 2018, if you look at that, we had a red candle to the downside towards the beginning of the month. So it does show you that over the course of the last 3 years, I mean, I could go further. So from at least 2018, every September has been quite bearish. So that just gives a rough idea that September could be that period where we do get a potential sell-off. Remember, we have been flying high over the course pretty much since 19th of July, bang, we popped straight up and we've been flying. We did get a retracement midway through. If you look at this move here, we actually popped up and did a 38% retracement to an absolute T, and then we pushed on. I'm expecting another sell-off at some stage, but one thing that for me I am keeping an eye on is a moving average 50. Whenever we're bearish, if you follow my videos before, whenever we're bearish, trading under it. Whenever we're bullish, we are trading above it. We're now back above that 50. I think we will get a sell-off, but if we just visualise where this 50 could potentially go, if we did get a price correction, obviously we could come down here. I reckon if we did get a bit of a sell-off, whether that's from 51k or whether that's from this region here, I think we could potentially tap this region at around 41k. I don't think we will drop below that. In terms of closures, I think if we could potentially drop through it, maybe some wicks down to this side here, 37k, and retest this monthly open. That is always a possibility that we'll retest that monthly open there and then push on. So all eyes on the potential correction coming up. I mean, it is the 17th of August now, maybe a couple more weeks of just either sideways or a steady drop down. But then we could dump and then start a nice steady way up. That's what I'm more in favour of. I reckon that could potentially happen. But remember, we could also use this area of support, put back up to 51k, and then reject, come back down, maybe either a heavy rejection, back down towards that monthly open, and then a nice steady rise going into August, going into towards Q4, and things do really start heating up. In my opinion, lots of people keep mentioning 100k. I reckon I'm going to push up to around 120, 130k towards the end of this year. With that, once Bitcoin has made that move, alts will follow it in terms of Satoshi pairs and the USDT pair. So let's just keep his eyes on those charts, let them play out, and then just trade accordingly. Fingers crossed we do get a nice tasty Q4 to the end of this year. That's happened previous cycles, 2013, 2017. We've had some major blow off tops. When we talk about blow off tops, this is not the best indicator, and I know a lot of people aren't favourable of this, but if you're looking at previous cycles, that was 2011 cycle. 2013 pretty much had two tops, didn't it? We had that major move to upside, a rejection, and then a push back up. 2017 was just absolute carnage, which pretty much brought everyone I know today into cryptocurrency. We did have that massive top up at $20,000. And then we have rejected 3 years. And finally, after that COVID dump of last year, around March the 19th, rings a bell, around that date anyway, it's been a nice steady rise. Not much of a top there, is it? I mean, if you look at all these previous peaks, we've had a major blow off top. This for me was not the top. We've done quite a nasty retracement actually, 55% on Bitcoin and some altcoins, 80-90%, and when fundamentally nothing's happened. So for me, I think that towards the end of the year, we're going to be pushing up towards this region, get a nice blow off top and see what goes on in terms of that. Also want to take a look at the crypto fair and greed index, which is at 72 today, 72 yesterday, 71 last week. Last month, 19. I mean, I think it even went down to 14 at one stage, and everybody saw that meme that somebody showed it at -10, -14. It actually felt like it was probably the most bearish period that I've seen throughout my time in cryptocurrency. But hey ho, I think a lot of people are starting to turn bullish now, which is a good sign. This just going back on this tweet that I dropped off in June. Coming to end of June, it's been horrific for crypto holders. I think personally a steady rise with some added FUD throughout July to keep us within 41k, which actually happened. Then August, a real rise begins. Now actually, see if I put my quote on here somewhere. So September, I think, will be a month for the bears. So you might see CT turning a little bit bearish across the board, but every man and his dog will be jumping on that. Bears trying to get back in. Initial drop followed by sideways action in October. I honestly think the real rise begins. I mentioned it throughout this video. I think August is bullish. September is notoriously a bearish month across all crypto, not just cryptocurrency but trading. I think that month of September is that lull before the real battle commences. So for me, I think, fingers crossed I were right on that one. Let's pray that I'm right on that one, because if you're a bear and you've managed to not buy into anything yet, I think it could be a good time for you to potentially top up, get those last orders filled, maybe accumulate some assets that you're pretty much favourable of, and then full send. And I think that it's going to be retirement zone incoming. So that's going to do it for today's video. Just some thoughts on Bitcoin there. I rarely do Bitcoin videos, but I just thought I'd get my thoughts out there and pass it on to you guys. Might be wrong, might be talking absolute bollocks, but we'll see how it plays out. And yeah, hopefully we can get some nice profit towards the end of the year. If you're new to this channel, then please make sure that you are subscribed. Hit that like button, and I'll catch you next time.